We are now starting with the fourth unit of the ninth class, that is structure of atom. Now first of all let us define some definitions. What is an atom? Atom, as we know, it is the smallest particle of an element which have independent or which may or may not have independent existence. Atom, the smallest particle of an element which may or may not have independent existence. So, first definition is atom. Then what are the fundamental particles present in the atom? First of all, discovery of electron. We are doing J.J. Thomson experiment. Thomson took a highly evacuated glass tube fitted with two metal electrodes. These are two metal electrodes. This glass tube is called as discharge tube. This is high voltage source, 5000 to 10,000 volt is passed from this across the gas which is taken in this discharge tube, and this is your negatively charged electrode called as cathode, and this is your positively charged electrode called as anode. In the middle of the glass tube we have a opening through which the gas can be introduced and the pressure can be varied. So what Thomson did in this case, Thomson took a highly evacuated glass tube fitted with two metal electrodes, and a gas was taken in the discharge tube. Then high voltage was set across these two electrodes, that is around about 5000 to 10,000 volts, and he saw that under normal condition nothing happened. No light was produced, no change was taken place in the gases which are taken in the discharge tube. Then he reduced the pressure to 0.01 atmosphere. He saw the gases started conducting and the tube started emitting some light, and he further reduced the pressure. Then he saw that the intensity of the light that got reduced and the gas still remain conducting in nature. Now, what was the cause of the light emission by the discharge tube? So, a stream of negatively charged particles that was moving from this electrode cathode to anode, these rays, the stream of these negatively charged particles, that was called as cathode rays. Now, what is the origin of cathode rays? When electric discharge is passed through the gas taken in the discharge tube, then this metal electrode, which is called as cathode, it lost some electron. These electrons, they struck against the neutral gaseous atoms and they removed more electron from their valence shell. Later on, the number of electrons that became very large, they emitted more electrons. When these electrons they became very large, they started moving towards the positive plate, that is anode, and the stream of these negatively charged particles, it was named as cathode, and they were made of electrons. So cathode rays were made of negatively charged particles called as electrons. The mass of these electrons, that was 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram, and charge that was equal to 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. This was negative charge, a unit negative charge on these particles. So Electrons, they were discovered by J.J. Thomson. And cathode rays, properties of cathode rays, they are made up of negatively charged particles called as electrons. They travel in straight line, they possess heating effect, they produce X-ray when strike against the hard metal like tungsten. Their charge upon mass ratio, E by m ratio, that is constant. Since all the gases which were taken at different time in discharge tube, they emitted electrons. Since charge and mass of the electron, that is fixed, therefore E by m ratio, that was also constant in case of the cathode rays. And this ratio was 9.58 into 10 raised to power minus 9 coulomb per gram for hydrogen gas. Then we come to the effect on photographic plate. They affect the photographic plate, they spoil the photographic plates on which they are they are focused. And then they have the heating effect. They are made of material particles. It is probed by a thin wheel placed in their path. It gets rotated by the strike of the electrons, and they show fluorescence. When the object is placed in their path, they absorb energy from the electron, and that object keep on shining for some time. This is called as fluorescence. So they get deflected towards a positive plate applied around this discharge. If we are putting a positive plate here, the electron will come towards that plate, which shows that they are negatively charged particles. So this is all about electron, discovery of cathode rays. Now we are able to define electron, that is first fundamental particle of the atom. Electron, it is defined as the subatomic fundamental particle whose mass is equal to 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram, and its charge is unit negative charge minus 1.062 into 10 raised to power minus coulomb, 19 coulomb. Then we have the second discovery of the protons. Goldstein was the scientist who was responsible for discovery of protons. What he did, he used a perforated cathode here. In place of the metal foil, he used perforated cathode. In the Thomson experiment, he repeated same experiment, but cathode was having number of perforations, number of holes in it, and he saw that cathode rays were moving towards the anode, and there were some rays in the discharge tube which were traveling toward the cathode. These rays were positively charged. All these rays got originated in the discharge tube. They are originated from the gaseous atom. The gaseous atom which were neutral in the beginning, they are having same number of electrons and same number of protons in the beginning. When the electron from cathode which were emitted by cathode, they strike against these electrons, they remove more electrons. The number of these electrons became very large. The remaining gaseous atom, it acquired positive charge because the number of electrons that was not equal to number of protons. Here electrons, they were equal to the number of protons, so it was neutral. Now electrons have been ejected. They are taken out by these striking electrons. So now electron proton, they are not equal. This is positively charged gaseous ion. They start moving towards the cathode. That's why they are called as canal rays or anode rays. Since they appear to be coming from anode to cathode, that's why they were named as anode rays or canal rays. They travel in straight line. They also possess heating effect. They spoil the photographic plate placed in their path. They are made up of positively charged gaseous atoms, and the positive charge was due to some other particle in these gaseous ions that was named as a proton, whose mass was equal to 1.67 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram, and it was having a unit positive charge that was plus 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. So here we got another fundamental particle, that was proton. So proton is a subatomic fundamental particle of the atom whose mass is 1.67 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram, and it has a unit positive charge that is plus 1.062 minus 19 coulomb. So this was regarding proton. After the discovery of proton and neutron, it was thought that their collective mass will be equal to the mass of atom, but it could not happen. Therefore, scientists thought that there might be some other particle present in the atom. That particle was neutron. It was discovered due to efforts of Chadwick. So third particle, that is discovery of neutrons. What Chadwick did, Chadwick bombarded the lighter nuclei of beryllium and boron like atoms with alpha particle and got some neutral particles whose mass was equal to the mass of hydrogen atom or mass of proton, but they don't have any charge. They are not deflected toward the any positive or negative plate of the applied electric or magnetic field. So these particles, they were named as neutron. For example, he bombarded boron 511 with alpha particle. This is alpha particle 2He4. It will give you nitrogen 14 plus one neutral particle. You will see the upper number sum should be equal to this sum. 11 plus 4 15, 14 plus 1 15, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 0 7. So these are the neutral particles which were produced by boron nuclei. Similarly, they bombarded beryllium with alpha particle and got carbon plus a neutral particle which was named as neutron. So this was third particle, fundamental particle, neutron. Its mass is equal to the mass of proton or hydrogen, and it does not bear any charge. So after the discovery of these particles, then attempts were made how to fit these subatomic particles in the structure of atom. These attempts we will be studying later on in this chapter. Now we know Rutherford performed another experiment that is called a scattering experiment. He bombarded a thin gold foil with alpha particle and observed that 99% of the alpha particles is passed straightway through the gold foil. Only one particle out of 20,000 particles shown deflection, and it got deflected to the same path at which it was incident on the gold foil, and very few particles shown some deflections from the center of the atom. And from his experiment, he drawn the conclusion that there is a dense positively charged center present in the center of the atom, that is called as nucleus, which contains protons, around which the large space of the atom that is empty, in which electrons they revolve. So he gave his model of atom and considered atom to consist of two parts. Number one, nucleus. It is a dense positively charged center situated in the center of the atom. It contains proton, around which there are a large number of electrons which revolve in the different circular paths. This was the extranuclear part of the Rutherford model. So after this, the structure of Rutherford that was given, and there were other attempts also. We'll consider them by after defining the Thomson model. Now, Rutherford's scattering experiment was performed after the Thomson model. First of all, Thomson, when he did the experiment, after that Goldstein and Chadwick, they discovered other particles, fundamental particles of the atom. Then Thomson was the first scientist who gave the model of atom. So we will first of all consider the Thomson model of atom. So this is our question number 2, define Thomson model of atom. Thomson considered atom to be a sphere of positive electricity in which electrons were embedded, and these electrons, this model of Thomson, it was just equivalent to watermelon, where red spongy part of the watermelon represents the proton and the black seeds in the watermelon, they represent the electrons. So his model was like this. This was a sphere of positive electricity and in which electrons were embedded. These are negatively charged. This was Thomson model. Thomson model could not explain the stability of atom. since electrons they were negatively charged, they were close to each other, they will definitely exert repulsion between them, and it will destabilize the Thomson model. Thomson could not explain how the atom is stable. So after this, the second model was given, that was Rutherford model of atom. He said there is a dense positively charged in the center which contains proton. It is called as nucleus, around which there are large number of circular paths where electrons revolve. This part of the atom it is called as extranuclear part. So this is Rutherford model of atom. At that time regarding neutron there was no idea, and then we came the another model was given, that was Bohr model of atom. In 1913, Niels Bohr proposed his model of atom. He gave some postulate to give the model of atom. First postulate was there is a dense positively charged center, which was proposed by Rutherford also. There is a dense positively charged center situated in the center of the atom, that is called as nucleus. So first postulate was establishment of the nucleus which contained neutron and proton. They were collectively known as nucleons. Then he gave the second postulate, there are large number of circular paths around the nucleus where electrons revolve. They are called as energy levels. These paths they are called as energy levels or cells or orbits. Third is the electron keeps on revolving in the allotted energy level without losing any energy. Fourth is the angular momentum of an electron, that is MVR, that is equal to NH upon 2 pi. So angular momentum of the electron, that is equal to NH upon 2 pi. An electron, N is the number of orbits in which electron is revolving. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So angular momentum changes accordingly. It will become twice in the second orbit, it will become thrice in the third orbit, and 4 times in the fourth orbital. Then we have fifth point. An electron keeps on revolving in the allotted energy level without losing any energy. This state of the electron is called as ground state, and when some extra energy is given to that electron, it will definitely absorb that energy and will move to the higher level. This state of the electron is called as temporary state, or it is called as excited state, and this state does not remain long for the electron. Electron has to revert back, it has to come back after releasing the absorbed energy in the form of photons of light. And if the E2 is the energy of higher orbit, E1 is the energy of lower orbit where electron was present, it goes to that orbital, then energy lost or absorbed it is given by E2 minus E1. This is proportional to nu. Removing sign of proportionality by constant, we get h nu. It is Planck's constant, and nu is equal to c by lambda. So we will be having E2 minus E1, that will be equal to hc by lambda. So lambda can be calculated by this formula, E2 minus E1, where E2 is the energy of higher level, E1 is the energy of lower level, and this is the wavelength of the photon of the light emitted or absorbed. Emitted when it comes down, absorbed when it goes up. And sixth postulate was an orbit or cell can keep electron by 2n square rule, where n is first cell, second cell, third cell, fourth cell, and fifth cell. So this is regarding the Bohr model of atom. So this model was quite successful in explaining all the properties of the atom. Therefore, it was selected as a main model of the atom. Then we come to energy cells. They are represented by, these are the circular paths around the nucleus where electron revolve. They are represented by K, L, M, N starting from the nucleus, or they are represented by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Then we have valence cell. Valence cell is called as the outermost cell of the atom where electrons present. These electrons are called as valence electrons, and the electrons of the valence shell, they are responsible for establishing valency of an atom. Then we have mass number. Mass number is the sum of nucleons. It is equal to the number of neutrons and protons present in an atom, and it is represented by A. So mass number of an element atom, it is represented by A. It is equal to the sum of the nucleons, means the number of neutrons and protons which are present in an atom. And then we have the atomic number. Atomic number is represented by capital Z. It represents the number of electrons or protons present in an atom. So we have these two important definitions. What is mass number and what is your atomic number? Define mass number, that is A, and atomic number, that is Z. So answer is mass number. Mass number, it is defined as the sum of the nucleons, neutron plus protons, that is mass number. Then we have the atomic number. It is the number of electrons or number of protons present in an atom. Then we have the number of electrons. Suppose we have the species. Calculation of number of electrons, protons and neutrons. For example, we have carbon atom C612, nitrogen N714, oxygen O818 or 16. We have number of isotopes of oxygen O18, 16, 17. So number of electrons. Electron is equal to this lower number. Proton is also equal to lower number in the neutral species. And neutron, they are given by subtracting the lower number from upper number. Similarly here, electrons are 7, protons are 7, neutrons are 7, 14 minus 7. Electrons are 8, protons are 8 and neutrons are 8. Then we have the negative species. We are having negative, it will be having electrons in excess, 7 plus 3, 10 electrons. Proton, they will remain 7, neutron, that is 14 minus 7, you will be having 7 neutrons. Then we have phosphide, it is having 15, 31, then it has electrons, 15 plus 3, negative charge is added. Proton, that is 15, neutron, that is 31 minus 15, it is 16. So in this manner we can calculate in case of the negative species. If we are having positive species, it is calcium ion, 20, 40 electrons, they will be subtracted, plus charge is subtracted for electrons, 20 minus 2, it is 18. Proton, they will remain 20, neutron will be 40 minus 20, it will be 20. Then we have the potassium ion, it is 19, 39 electrons, 19 minus 1, 18 protons, you will be having 19 neutrons, 39 minus 90, 20. So in this manner, for positive species, the electrons are reduced. For negative species, electrons are increased equal to the charge. But in case of the neutral species, there is no change in number of electrons or protons. Then we have valence electron. Valency, we have already defined. Valency is defined as the combining capacity of the atom of an element. Then we have few more definitions. Define isotopes, isobars and isotones. Isotopes, these are the species, these are the atoms of same element which are having same atomic number but different mass numbers. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes. This is protium, 1H1. 1H2 is deuterium. This is protium. Then we have tritium. Isobars are the atoms of different elements which are having different atomic number but they are having same mass number. It is calcium 20, 40, argon 18, 40. So their atomic numbers are different, mass numbers are same. Then we have isotones, they have same number of neutrons. For example, we have silicon 1430 and phosphorus 1531. Number of neutrons 30 minus 14, it is 16. 31 minus 15, it is again 16. So the species which are having same number of neutrons, they are called as the isotones. Then after this we will be writing the electronic configuration of first 20 elements. They are starting from the hydrogen and will end at your calcium. So this will be our next question, question number 9. Write electronic configuration of first 20 elements. Draw their structures, you can draw the structures also. Write electronic configuration of first 20 elements. These elements are Hali-Nak. We have the element 20 element Ha-He, Li-Babe, Kanofni, Namji, Alcippus, Kalargan, Kaka. This is 20, this is 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now their configuration will be atomic number, mass number is given up. Helium is 2He4, lithium is 3Li7, it is 9, it is 11. Now here it is 12, it is 14. In oxygen it is 16, it is now 19. Here it is 20. In case of sodium it is 23. In case of magnesium it is 24. These are the mass numbers. Upper number is mass number. Lower number is atomic number. Similarly, where we have 27, it is 30, it is 31. Sulfur is 32, chlorine is 35.5. Argon here you will be having 40, potassium is 39, calcium is again 40. So we have up to now written the symbols first of all, then we wrote the atomic numbers, the lower script is the atomic number, then we have the mass number, the superscript, then we are writing their electronic configuration. First is K cell, it contains 1 electron in K cell. In this case it is having 2 electrons in K cell. In this case it is having 2, 1, it is K and L cell. Then we have beryllium 2 into 2, then boron 2, 3, carbon 2, 4, then we have 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, here we have 2, 8, K and L cell, they are complete now. Here we have K cell, L cell, and then we have 1 electron in the M cell. This is M cell here. Here we will be having 2 electron in the M cell. Then we have again K cell completely filled, L cell completely filled. Now we have 3 electron in the M cell. Then we have K cell completely filled, L cell filled. We have 4 electrons. We have 5 electrons. Here we have 6 electrons, 7 electrons. Then we have 8 electrons here. Here we are having the complete 19 electrons, so we will be completing the M cell also, and 1 electron in the L cell. Here we are having the same configuration, 2 electron in the M cell. So this is the configuration. If you want to draw their structures, this is nucleus having 1 proton here, and this is outer cell having 1 electron here. Similarly, in case of helium, nucleus has 2 protons and it has 2 electrons here. Then in case of the lithium, it has 3 protons and it has a neutron, 4 neutrons, and it has 2 electron in K cell, 1 electron in L cell. So in this manner you can draw their structures. you can put the number of electrons and number of protons equal to this number in the center, and subtracting from upper number to lower number you can calculate the number of neutrons. Followed my point. Let us draw the structure of this. It is having 4 cells. So first of all write the nucleus. It is having electrons, it is having protons 20, neutrons 40 minus 20, it is 20. Then it has 2 electrons in the K cell, it has 8 electrons in the L cell, and it has 2, 8, 8 and 2. Again it will be having 8 electron next cell and 2 electron in the outermost cell. So in this manner you can draw their electronic figures, electronic structures of the cells as well as nucleus. So this is regarding their drawing of their structures. Then we have nature of elements, whether they are metal or non-metal. Hydrogen is gaseous form, non-metal. Helium is non-metal, these are metals. And boron is having non-metallic character. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, they are all non-metallic in nature, they are metallic. And then we have the aluminium metal, it behaves as both, but it is perfectly a metal. Some character of non-metal are also shown. It behaves as a metalloid. Silicon is non-metal. Phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, non-metal. These are metallic elements. So we can write on what kind of element they are. Now let us revise some of the points. What is the mass of electron? It is 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kilogram. And what is the charge on electron? It is minus 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Then mass of proton 1.67 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram. Then charge on proton, it is unit positive plus 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Charge upon mass ratio for electron is now 1.76 into 10 raised to power 8 coulomb per gram. So charge upon mass ratio for electron, E by m ratio of electron, this is equal to 1.67 into 10 raised to power 8 coulomb per gram. This is to be kept in the mind. It is constant for the electrons. Then mass number represented by A, just above the symbol of the element. This is your mass number, this is your atomic number. It can also be represented like this, and Z and A like this. I have represented this in some cases where space was left. 919, 816, I have represented 1020 like this. They can be represented. So all this about the starting lecture of the fourth unit, that is structure of atom. We discussed discovery of electron, proton, neutrons and the models of atom. Then we discussed electronic configuration, isotopes, isobars and so on. In next lecture we will be taking the text questions of your fourth unit. Thank you very much.